Alors, Seigneur Jésus, tu es le Dieu Tout-Puissant. Bienvenue au 21. Alors, je sais donc que tu es donc Dieu et que le Cameroun sera un pays donc de paix. Qu'est-ce qui se passe donc avec Peur Bleue?
En Afrique, comme avec vous, madame et monsieur. Rebonsoir à tous et bienvenue pour cette
3, 2, 1, go!
Ok, c'est bon. Bon!
Protesters face off with police after Cameroon's President Paul Biya won an 8th term on Monday.
It happened in Cameroon, under Paul Biya, a government silencing its own citizens in the name of order. And now, it's happening again, this time in Tanzania.
Now to Tanzania, where police have imposed an evening curfew in the main city, Dar es Salaam, after protesters tore down banners supporting the president and burned a police station.
Chaos erupted in various towns in Tanzania as the country held their presidential elections, marked by concerns from human rights groups alarmed over detention of opposition members. Internet connectivity was disrupted across the country shortly after hundreds of protesters set ablaze a rapid transport bus and a gas station.
The streets of Dar es Salaam burn with anger. Sirens echo through the night. And a new generation is refusing to bow.
CCM! Hatutaki! CCM! Hatutaki! CCM!
A curfew has been declared, the internet cut off, and the people's voices drowned in tear gas. But in the heart of the storm, Africa's youth are reminding the continent that silence is no longer an option. Just when the world thought it was over, reports say protesters have stormed military barracks, pleading for the army to take control. In what was meant to be a moment of democracy, Tanzania has found itself repeating the mistakes of others. Just like Cameroon, under Biya's iron rule, the government faces its own people, not with dialogue, but with force. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, once celebrated as a symbol of hope and reform, now stands accused of walking the same path of repression. A nation watches in fear, while the rest of Africa asks, is this the beginning of another long reign built on fear? Welcome to the African Discovery, where we uncover Africa's untold stories and explore the deeper meaning behind today's biggest events. On what should have been a day of democracy, chaos unfolded across Tanzania. In Dar es Salaam, the beating heart of the nation, peaceful protests quickly turned violent. Demonstrators demanded electoral reforms and freedom of political expression. But instead of listening, authorities answered with force. The police fired tear gas, protesters set vehicles ablaze, and hospitals began to overflow with the wounded. By nightfall, the government imposed a strict curfew, ordering citizens to remain indoors after 6 p.m.
2 people, a civilian and a police officer, were killed during Election Day demonstrations in Tanzania, with the state putting the city of Dar es Salaam under 6 p.m. curfew, following a tense election day marked by protests and unrest across many parts of the neighbor to the south. Dar es Salaam Special Zone Police Commander Jumanne Muliro did not specify, however, when the curfew is expected to be lifted.
The message was clear. Dissent will not be tolerated. Even more chilling, the internet went dark. Net blocks confirmed a nationwide blackout, cutting Tanzanians off from the world and from one another. But when the light of truth is blocked, anger only burns brighter. As fear deepens, reports now claim that thousands of Tanzanians have gathered outside military barracks, pleading with soldiers to intervene.
Sisi tunawapenda sana. We love our country. Tanzania ni nchi yetu, hatuna nchi nyingine. Kwa hiyo sisi hatuna shida kabisa na nchi yetu. Sisi tunatetea utekaji.
The rumor, circulating across verified accounts on social media, suggests a desperate call for the army to take control. Whether true or not, the sentiment reveals something undeniable. A nation that no longer trusts its leaders to listen. To understand this eruption, we must rewind. President Samia Suluhu Hassan rose to power in 2021 after the death of John Magufuli. At first, she was hailed as a reformer, a leader who would restore free speech and reopen political space. But as the years passed, the optimism faded. Opposition figures were arrested, critics disappeared, and elections became predictable rituals of victory for the ruling CCM party, which has never lost a vote since independence.
Using very repressive laws that are very vague, applying them differently to the opposition, to the citizens, to the journalists, just to keep them repressed. So with this human rights crisis, we are seeing silenced voices, we are seeing a repressed opposition, and we're seeing very little civic participation.
Now, with the main opposition leader jailed on treason charges and his party boycotting the election, many Tanzanians feel the ballot has lost its meaning. Human rights groups call it a wave of terror. The government calls it maintaining peace. But peace built on fear is not peace. It's control. What's happening in Tanzania is more than a local dispute. It's the voice of a generation demanding dignity. Across Africa, young people are tired of recycled promises and leaders who rule until the end of time. And now, from Dar es Salaam to Yaoundé, they're drawing a line in the sand. Many observers are comparing President Suluhu's crackdown to that of Paul Biya in Cameroon. Both leaders face growing youth movements. Both rely on security forces to silence protest. And both stand accused of betraying the ideals they once swore to protect. The only difference, this time, it's a woman leading the charge. And that makes it even more shocking. Is President Suluhu following the footsteps of Paul Biya? Or is she trying to prove that repression has no gender? Either way, the result is the same: silence, fear, and resistance. Tonight, Dar es Salaam is under curfew. Shops are shuttered, roads deserted, and the air heavy with uncertainty. In the border town of Tunduma and the city of Mbeya, demonstrations have spread. Small flames of defiance flickering across the nation. Tanzanian youth say they will not back down. We are tired, one protester told the BBC. We just want an independent electoral commission, so every Tanzanian can choose the leader they want. The government insists the election was free and fair, but fairness cannot live where freedom is dead. This is not an isolated storm. It's part of a continental awakening. From the protests in Senegal to the uprisings in Cameroon, Africa's Gen Z has become a force that refuses to be silenced. They are connected, fearless, and ready to challenge power, whether it wears a suit, a uniform, or a smile. And that connection terrifies those who still believe they can govern forever. What happens next depends on how far the government is willing to go and how long the people are willing to endure. If the curfew holds and the internet stays dark, Tanzania could descend into the same quiet fear that haunts other nations. But if the protests continue, and if the world is watching, this moment could mark a turning point. Perhaps, just perhaps, the youth of Africa are writing the next chapter of liberation. One protest, one voice, one tweet at a time. Tonight, Tanzania stands between fear and freedom. A president once praised as a reformer now risks being remembered as another ruler who chose control over courage. And, as we've seen in Cameroon, repression may silence the streets, but it cannot silence the spirit. Because in Africa today, the people are no longer waiting for change. They are becoming it. You've been watching The African Discovery, uncovering Africa's untold stories. Subscribe for more deep insights shaping the continent's tomorrow. To watch the fearless protest of Gen Z uprising in Cameroon against Paul Biya's re-election, click the video on your screen now.
Good morning, fellow Cameroonians at home and abroad. This is Capo Daniel, chairman of PRAP. Today, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, have congratulated Paul Biya for the result of the elections, despite everybody knowing that these elections was rigged. So I want you to know, despite this, there are more important things that I want to point to you so that this does not overshadow it, including playing to you the speech of Issa Chiruma, which is very, very powerful. But I want you to understand that there is a remarkable silence of the international community regarding these elections in Cameroon, which you must know so that you are not deceived by this message that is coming from Putin, from the Kremlin, and those who have been waving Russian flag all along, lobbying me to support Russia, should now see the result of that and how I was right about that. But I want you to know that neighboring countries like Nigeria, like Chad and Central African Republic, including France, have not congratulated Paul Biya. And that tells us that the international community does not see this election as a credible victory for Paul Biya. They have clearly witnessed the fraud, the rigging of the election, observing from all what we have seen on social media that it is clearly Issa Chiruma the winner of this election, and the world knows it. They know, as we know, as it is evident for everybody to see, that the will of the Cameroonian people have been compromised by the system, by the ELECAM, by the Constitutional Council. They have compromised the will of the Cameroonian people. This silence of the international community from not issuing congratulation message from Paul Biya is a powerful message that must not be overlooked. The world cannot be fooled, and neither should we be fooled or be deceived. Even if the worst come to the worst, the truth must be established. So Russia, congratulations to Paul Biya, is nothing more than a dictatorship's win. Now, I want to address this issue of Russia because there is a lot of misconception about it in Africa as a whole. The idea that Russia can be a liberator. No. The exception being the president of Burkina Faso, who is a person who loves his own people. Many Africans have been led to believe that because Russia helped overthrow some dictatorship in Northern Africa, it means that Russia stands for our African freedom. No. Let us be clear. Russia acts in its own interest. The liberation of the Northern African state was specifically designed to stop the pipeline that was extending from West Africa into Europe through Morocco. And we all know that. But we see that even dictators like the president in Burkina Faso has acted in the interest of his own people. So there is no excuse for African leaders. But I must make this very clear. Russians, they seek to control resources, pipelines, in their geopolitical war against the West. They are not there to help us. They are not there to bring true democracy, which is what Africans want. We want democracy. We want free and fair election. They do not give freedom. Russia do not give freedom to their own people. Why would we think that it is going to help us to get freedom? No. There is no democracy that has been established by Russia or any free country that has been established by Russia. No. Their supports to Biya prove that they are in favor of dictatorship. They are in favor of whatever is going to be good for business for them and their war against the West. We must be wise. And those who have lobbied me tirelessly, even the people of the Ague of Sea, they used to push the issue of Russia too much. And I bring the reservation based on facts and the statements that they have made. And today we should know that. We should know that and put that behind us. Okay. Yes, we are often disappointed by Western countries. I know that. Western countries, the America, the European Union, have always disappointed us because they always choose stability in Africa over the fight for true and real democracy that is going to empower our own people, grassroots people. But let us not forget that these countries, the Western countries, despite their flaws, have preserved democratic values in their own countries. And that is a hope for us to think that we can get democracy from them. If we want Cameroon where free elections and self-governance are possible, we must look to true democratic systems, not authoritarian ones. In other words, we must not be seduced by the mirage of quick fixes from dictatorships like Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the rest, and including China. We must not be fooled by those. We should not be seduced by those quick fixes and allow our public to be misled. And I am very glad that this thing is out there so that Cameroonians can see Vladimir Putin for who he is and see Russia for who they are. So with this, we should put it behind and let's focus now in what truly matters so that our people can get past this nonsense. This is our moment in Cameroon. This is a moment for Cameroon. Issa Chiruma and all we have believed in a free Cameroonian must take advantage. Issa Chiruma must take advantage right now of the international community's silence. There is a big silence across the board. African Union have made a statement which is ridiculous. We expect them to always do that stupid things. But France have made a statement. Amnesty International have made a statement. All of them are calling for Cameroon to respect the right of protesters. That says a lot. It is a sign that the war is open for a different path. But it must be up to Issa Chiruma and the Cameroonian people to show that they are ready and willing to stand with the war or stand for what they want. We must stand for genuine reforms. We in PRAP, we stand for genuine reforms. We must be aggressive and provocative in telling the truth about what has happened to generate the type of political capital, even in diplomacy, to get the people of Cameroon their freedom. We will not accept false liberators. We will not accept false liberators. And we will not settle for anything less than true freedom and democracy. And that guides our recommendation. So if we put out recommendation of what needs to be done, and we see that the people are doing the right thing, the leaderships are doing the right thing, then we will put our weight behind it. So let us rally the people to push forward with courage. All the Cameroonian people, courage for you people. Courage pour tous les francophones. Let us make it clear that the future of Cameroon will be decided by its own people. The world have said so, and it should be so, because it is us, the Cameroonian people. And that is our thesis in PRAP. It is us. So we must be ready. Now the leadership is there. So we should be ready to do that. So I want us to watch the video of Issa Chiruma and his speech to the nation. So this one, na message where Issa Chiruma, he done put them out for everybody. Wanna listen?
My dear compatriot, since the proclamation of falsified result, turn away from the truth of the ballot box by the Constitutional Council, our country has been going through unprecedented tension. The will of the people has been confiscated, the sovereignty of the people trampled upon. But this time, the people have arisen, standing tall and strong, dignified and courageous. They said no to the confiscation of power. Across all regions, from the north to south, east to west, Cameroonians express themselves peacefully with the only weapon granted to them by the Constitution, their vote. Yet, this voice was met with the clash of weapons. Live bullet answered the song of freedom. Our parents, our children were cut down in the prime of their lives, and peaceful marches were turned into blind repression with profiling and brutality. Today, the provisional toll is heavy. Arbitrary arrest of political leaders, civil society actors, content creators, and thousands of demonstrators, hundreds of deaths and injuries. Families plunge into mourning, recalling the traumatic episodes of 1984. While the people weep for their martyrs, those responsible for this tragedy shamelessly feast, displaying on social networks their cynicism and contempt for the people. In a viral video, the President of the Constitutional Council himself, in the intoxication of champagne, boasted of having secured the victory of the incumbent president. What a shame for our republic. But those who believe that fear will make us bow are gravely mistaken, because a people who have lost fear are a people who are invincible. Cameroonian, this climate of terror orchestrated to make us retreat. We will not give in. I therefore call on you from Monday, November 3, Wednesday, November 5, to observe ghost towns. Let the entire country come to a standstill so that the whole world knows that we are resisting and that we will not yield. Let us keep our shops closed, suspend our activities, remain at home in silence to demonstrate our solidarity and to remind this regime that the strength of an economy is its people, and the people no longer recognize it as their leader. Cameroonian people, the time is no longer for fear or division. Let us remain standing, united, proud, and in solidarity against those who, with Machiavellian cynicism, invoke peace while showing terror and continue to rule through misery and blood. Let us remain calm, yet determined. Let us remain dignified, yet unyielding. I repeat, our victory will never be stolen. I have taken a firm commitment never to betray you, and I will not fail. I will never betray you. I will never abandon you. This is the purpose of the rest of my life. Together, we will win this victory. May God...
Wow. Wow. That is the speech of a leader. The speech of a leader. So there will be ghost town of all Cameroon, civil disobedience, the whole of the country. That is powerful. He is doing everything we would imagine. Now we are going to see whether the Cameroonian government, from an Amazonian perspective, is going to be locking the shops of people in Yaoundé Douala for observing the ghost town. Let us see it. This is good. This is a powerful speech and a powerful idea pushed by Issa Chiruba. Oh my goodness. This is one of the best political speeches I have ever heard from a Cameroon politician. today we have witnessed a turning point in Cameroon history that have impressed your own servant since past king. If somebody impressed me politically, then you should take note of that person. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It was touching my heart, every beat, every string. Issa Chiruma's speech is unlike any we have ever heard before. In the landscape where so many leaders have fallen short, we have been looking for leaders. Look at this one, observe them, look at Fruni's idea, look at Joshua Osi, look at Akerimuna, look at Kawala. We have looked at all the leaders that have been in Cameroon. Look at Bello Buba. They have always been lacking of true democracy and have failed to really capture the heart of the people. But when you listen to this speech in particular of Issa Chiruma, it is the most powerful, best speech that has been laid out. Issa Chiruma stands out as a beacon of thoughtful, courageous leadership. No matter whatever you think about, he has stand out as a beacon of courageous leadership. He has called for a nationwide ghost town, a very bold move, starting from November the 3rd. This is very, very strategic, a move that is not just symbolic, but is deeply strategic. I would have wished it could have been more better that it's focused on Yaoundé in particular, because the Nordists have already stopped sending cows, and we'll advise them that is the best move. We must choke Yaoundé for the Yaoundé people to rise up at this critical moment, not in the long term, right now. Listening to the speech from A to Z, Issa Chiruma have shown us a quality of democratic thoughtfulness that we have rarely seen in Cameroonian politicians, all of them, and courage, because you can have the wisdom but you lack the courage and you lack the boldness. All of those things comes together. While we have admired people like John Fundi, Agbogbala, all of these people, Maurice Kamto, all of them, we have admired them, listening to their speech and their debate. But this speech of Issa Chiruma marks a new pinnacle. It is comprehensive, it is well thought out, it reflects a leader who truly understands the pulse of Cameroonian people and how politics work and understand the landscape. So everybody of reasonable mind who love freedom, who love democracy, and want change in Cameroon should support Issa Chiruma's move, and the Cameroonian people should indeed stand with him and listen to him and follow what he says. In Issa Chiruma, we see the kind of intelligence and vision that we once glimpsed in leaders in Cameroon like Amadou Ahidjo, Nyober, Ernest Nwani. I can see that spirit in Issa Chiruma. I can see it. I can feel it. I can see it. He carries a true democratic spirit who feels our struggle and every struggle all across Cameroon and is willing to defend the dignity of Cameroon people. When he says all Cameroonian, north to south, west to east, I feel it in my body. And now, let us consider the strategy he has put out. From an activist perspective, let us consider it and push it to the Cameroon people. This ghost town is not just a statement. It is a tactic that Issa Chiruma is deploying. I can only wonder the plan B or the follow-up plans that he has by calling on all Cameroon to stand still on this day, November 3rd, to cease all their economic activity and social activity and send a powerful message that cannot be ignored. The whole Cameroon should observe this and send the message. If we go further into what he's saying, if they could cut the supplies of food in Yaoundé, that is my recommendation. If they could make the price of Yaoundé of tomatoes, already fuels is going on, they should stop. There will be no soya, no boarding fish, no poisson braisé, no soya in Yaoundé. There is nothing people go to Yaoundé to do. That's why the first proposition of John Ngu Foncha and the delegation of Southern Cameroon was to change the capital of Cameroon to Douala It was rejected by Amadou Ahidjo. We have 12 proposals that was made in Fumba. They were all rejected. Let them choke Yaoundé. Then the people of Yaoundé themselves will feel the pressure. They will not tolerate hunger. I know that for sure. Bulu Beti people, Mfang people, Etun, they will not support hunger. They will not tolerate skyrocket prices because only few of them are the kings. Actually, you look at their community, they are also suffering like all Cameroonians. And they will not tolerate it. Their eyes will open. At this critical moment, they will know that it is the regime that has brought them all to this point. And they will do the right thing and they will rise up. And the communities in Yaoundé also will rise up. So, let us be very, very clear to everybody who listens to us and those who listen to the people who listen to us. It is a whole stream of network. That this is what we have witnessed in Issa Chiroma is activism, is the activism we have been waiting for, is the leadership we have been waiting for. This is leadership in its finest. Issa Chiroma has shown us that he is not just another politician, that he is not just any type of politician. He is a leader who understands the sacrifices and science of politics. This is a bold move that requires real actions and coordination and support from every freedom lover. Everybody. I will be disappointed. I'm giving chances to all the political parties that participated in the election to jump in now and endorse this move. Maurice Kamto, if you had failed the Cameroon people, it is time for you to join in, and every Cameroonian, including Kawala, who is a wise woman, should join in. If we stand with Issa Chiroma, if we support his initiative, we will choke the regime lifeline and force them to listen to the will of the Cameroonian people. It is going to force those who back the regime in France. They also have the conscience of the European Union to worry about, and the members of the G7 who are all observing what is happening in Cameroon. They have shame. Peur Bleue may not have shame, but these people have shame. Issa Chiroma will be peeing in his pants now. No, I'm sorry, not Issa Chiroma. This is our guy from Bamenda. Paul Atanganji must be peeing in his pants. So let us make this move with determination. Let us show the world that Cameroonians will not be silent, that we will not accept fraudulent regime, fraudulent election result, and that we will follow a leader who truly understands our hunger for democracy. I want to use this opportunity to appeal on all diaspora organizations to throw their support to Issa Chiroma's initiative and his leadership and to pay attention to him. We encourage all cultural groups abroad and home who are in relative freedom to speak with one voice so that the threat and intimidation from Paul Atanganji, which is meant to silence voices that magnify messages for it to be accepted on the grassroots, will not succeed. This is our moment. Together, we can make history. Together, if we stand strong, we will prevail. The people of Cameroon, November 3rd, we as Cameroonians all across the globe, we must show the world our resolve and determination for change. As Issa Chiroma's powerful statement says, which I want to quote, "Let us turn our cities into silent streets of defiance. Let November 3rd be a day when we will remain at home, a day where we will boycott every activities to declare that we will no longer be ruled by a regime," I'm quoting him, "a regime that ignores our voices." This is a quote from Issa Chiroma, a direct quote, exactly what he said. That is powerful. I totally endorse, I totally support this move by Issa Chiroma. In this call, we see echoes of great liberators like Nelson Mandela, who appeals to the heart of every South African. Nelson Mandela was not a member of the SCNC. Nelson Mandela was not a member of any of those groups, but somebody who struggled to raise his head for his people. We see somebody who understands true leadership, what true leadership means. So we welcome Issa Chiruma's statement. We believe he's doing the right thing. We are obligated to support it. Despite every consequences, we have to support it because it stands for true democracy. We stand for democracy and human rights. And we stand for peaceful advocacy, which is what he's doing. We have to show unyielding resistance against dictatorship and things that destroy humanity and human rights. Issa Chiruma's vision is not just about a single day of protest. It's about igniting a movement that taps into the spirit of freedom in the heart of every Cameroonian. Every Cameroonian dream of freedom. Every Cameroonian dream of democracy. To have their right to vote. To have the right that every Canadian, every American, every European, every South African to the extent enjoys. That is all we want. We don't seek violence. We don't seek confrontation. We want freedom. Just as Nelson Mandela inspired South Africans to envision a future free from apartheid, Issa Chiruma is inspiring us today to see a Cameroon where democracy is real and the people's will are honored and respected. That is very important. I want to drive this message, re-emphasize it as much as I can so that you get the point.
Avec un soupçon de comédie. Imaginez la scène. Le président Paul Biya, notre doyen du pouvoir, fraîchement réélu ou réélu, on discute encore dans les coins de rue, serait frappé par la maladie. Et attention, pas n'importe quelle maladie. Le genre qui vous envoie direct en Suisse, parce qu'ici, l'hôpital de quartier n'a pas encore la recette magique pour gérer les affaires du palais. Alors, comme tout bon Camerounais sait, quand le boss commence à tousser, le reste du village s'agite. Et à Yaoundé, le village, c'est le palais présidentiel. Entre les couloirs marbrés et les bureaux climatisés, les ministres et conseillers se déplacent en douce, à pas feutrés pour préparer la suite. On parle de réunions secrètes, de téléphones qui chauffent et de ngongoïsme stratégique. Oui mes amis, Ferdinand Ngongo n'est pas juste un nom à coucher dehors. C'est le général de la manœuvre, le monsieur « je touche à tout et je décide pour tout » qui s'affaire à écrire le futur gouvernement comme on prépare un plat épicé. Avec précaution, un peu de sel ici, un peu de piment là et surtout beaucoup de secrets. Pendant ce temps, nous autres Camerounais, on observe, on commande dans les marchés, dans les taxis, dans les salons de coiffure. Alors là, ça va bouger. Qui va rester, qui va tomber ? La tension est palpable, et certains se prennent même à rêver de ministres improbables, peut-être même un de vos voisins. Bref, c'est la politique version soap-opéra camerounais. Mais attention, mes chers abonnés de Cameroun Débat, ne clignez pas des yeux, parce que ce n'est que le début. Ce premier chapitre de la saga politique nous amène directement aux coulisses de ces nominations qui font trembler les fauteuils du palais, et c'est exactement ce que nous allons décortiquer dans la partie 2, où les noms commencent à circuler et les intrigues se dévoilent. Alors restez branchés, abonnez-vous, et ne ratez rien. Les manœuvres au sommet de l'État. Dans ce contexte, l'entourage présidentiel s'active pour préparer la suite des affaires publiques. Selon des sources proches du pouvoir, Ferdinand Ngo, secrétaire général de la présidence de la République, serait en train de finaliser la composition d'un nouveau gouvernement afin d'assurer une transition fluide et de maintenir la ligne politique actuelle. Félix Mbayou pressenti comme Premier ministre. Le nom de Félix Mbayou, actuel ministre de la Justice, circule avec insistance pour occuper le poste de Premier ministre. Ce choix, s'il se confirme, témoignerait de la volonté du pouvoir de conserver une position ferme face aux contestations et aux critiques post-électorales. Autre nomination stratégique envisagée, parmi les autres personnalités pressenties pour des postes clés, Fai Yengo Francis, pressenti pour diriger le ministère des Relations extérieures, Shay Jones Yembe, qui pourrait prendre la tête du ministère des Travaux publics. Un gouvernement sous tension. Cette recomposition ministérielle intervient alors que le Cameroun fait face à de vives contestations avec des accusations de fraude électorale et une montée des tensions sociales et politiques. La santé de Paul Biya et les décisions de son entourage soulèvent des interrogations sur la légitimité et la stabilité du pouvoir. Réaction politique et société civile. Les partis d'opposition et la société civile observent ces mouvements avec vigilance. Certains dénoncent un gouvernement préparé en toute opacité, tandis que d'autres estiment que ces nominations pourraient stabiliser une situation politique fragile. Implications régionales et internationales. La scène politique camerounaise est scrutée par la communauté internationale. La composition du nouveau gouvernement, et notamment le choix du Premier ministre, pourrait influencer la perception du pays à l'extérieur et les relations diplomatiques, notamment avec les pays africains voisins et l'Union européenne. Perspective pour le pays. Si Félix Mbayou venait à être confirmé à la tête du gouvernement, il serait confronté à des défis majeurs: apaiser les tensions post-électorales, gérer la crise sanitaire au sommet de l'État.
Tempête au sommet, Atanga NJ explose contre Issa Chiroma dans un clash ministériel sans précédent. Quand le tam-tam résonne trop fort dans le village, c'est qu'un grand serpent vient de passer. Et ce mardi 28 octobre à Yaoundé, mes chers abonnés, le tam-tam du pouvoir a résonné fort, très fort même. Une conférence de presse transformée en champ de bataille politique, un ministre qui tire à boulet rouge sur son ancien camarade de gouvernement, oui, c'est du jamais vu dans la République du silence qu'on connaît si bien. Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue sur Kame News, la chaîne où l'actualité ne se lit pas à moitié, elle se décortique, elle se savoure, et surtout elle se comprend avec du piment. Parce qu'ici, on ne fait pas dans la soupe tiède, non. On sert les vérités croustillantes, même quand elles brûlent la langue du pouvoir. Ce qu'il s'est passé hier à Yaoundé, c'est un véritable drame d'État. Paul Atanga NJ, le ministre de l'administration territoriale, celui qu'on appelle le gardien du temple du régime, est sorti de ses gonds. Il a pris la parole, non pas comme un homme d'État, mais comme un général en colère, prêt à envoyer ses troupes au front. Et sa cible? Rien d'autre que son ancien collègue, Issa Chiroma Bakary, l'ex-ministre de la Communication devenu candidat à la présidentielle. Oui, vous avez bien entendu, deux anciens frères de gouvernement, aujourd'hui ennemis jurés sous les projecteurs. Et tenez-vous bien, le Mina ne l'a pas ménagé. Il l'a traité des irresponsables, des obsédés par la déstabilisation du pays, d'hommes dangereux qui manipulent la jeunesse pour semer le chaos. Des mots lourds, très lourds, lancés comme des pierres dans la mare politique. On aurait dit que Yaoundé tremblait sous le poids de ses propres secrets. Mais attendez, comment on en est arrivé là? Comment deux hommes qui défendaient le même régime il n'y a pas si longtemps en viennent à se traiter comme des ennemis publics? Qu'est-ce qui se cache derrière cette guerre de mots? Est-ce juste une affaire politique ou bien le signe d'un tremblement de terre à venir dans les coulisses du pouvoir? Ne partez surtout pas, mes chers abonnés, car ce reportage va vous plonger dans un monde de complots, de trahisons et de secrets bien gardés. Chaque mot prononcé hier par le Mina cache une vérité, chaque phrase est une flèche tirée vers un camp bien précis. Et croyez-moi, ce que vous allez entendre aujourd'hui pourrait bien redéfinir tout ce que vous pensiez savoir sur la politique camerounaise. Mais avant qu'on entre dans le cœur de cette affaire explosive, prenez juste un instant pour aimer cette vidéo, vous abonner à Kame News, et surtout activer la cloche de notification cloche, parce que sur Kame News, on ne fait pas du copier-coller d'actualité. Ici, on vous livre les faits bien épicés, assaisonnés au satirique camerounais, avec des rebondissements dignes d'un film politique à suspense. Alors restez bien installés, attachez vos ceintures, parce que ce que vous allez entendre dans un instant, n'a rien de banal. Bienvenue dans le Cameroun où les anciens alliés du régime s'accusent de trahison, où la politique se joue comme une pièce de théâtre, mais où, attention, chaque acteur joue sa survie. Partie 1, quand Atanga NJ sort le grand bâton. À Cameroun mon pays, quand un ministre parle, même les murs du palais présidentiel font silence. Oui mes chers abonnés de Kame News, ce mardi 28 octobre à Yaoundé, c'était pas une conférence de presse, non. C'était un tribunal public sans juge ni avocat, présidé par Paul Atanga NJ en personne, le ministre de l'administration territoriale, qu'on surnomme désormais le gardien du feu sacré du régime. Dès qu'il a pris la parole, l'air même a changé dans la salle. Micro bien placé, regard fixe, ton martial, on aurait dit un général de guerre venu annoncer la capture d'un ennemi d'État. Et son ennemi du jour, c'était son ancien collègue, l'homme aux multiples vies politiques, Issa Chiroma Bakary. Oui, le même Chiroma qui a passé des années à défendre bec et ongle le régime Biya, avant de se retrouver, comme par miracle, du côté des candidats à la présidentielle. Comme quoi, au Cameroun, le chien que tu nourris peut finir par aboyer contre ta clôture. Alors le Mina n'a pas mâché ses mots, il a tiré à balles réelles, métaphoriquement bien sûr. Selon lui, Issa Chiroma n'est plus un simple politicien, il serait devenu, je cite, un candidat irresponsable, obsédé par un projet de déstabilisation du pays. Et oui, rien que ça. Le genre de phrase qui fait trembler les colonnes du bâtiment ministériel. Atanga Nji a accusé Chiroma d'avoir appelé les Camerounais à descendre dans la rue pour défendre sa prétendue victoire. Vous avez bien entendu, prétendu. Dans le jargon du Mina, cela veut dire « victoire imaginaire ». Mais attendez, ce n'est pas fini. Il a ajouté, sans trembler, répondant à ces appels séditieux, des groupuscules de jeunes, souvent sous l'effet de stupéfiants, ont semé le chaos. Là, mes chers amis, la salle a retenu son souffle. Parce que quand un ministre dit que les jeunes étaient sous l'effet de stupéfiants, ça veut dire que même les faits divers ont pris un virage politique. On dirait qu'il voulait peindre une scène de guerre, les assaillants, les incendies, les pilleurs, tout y est passé. On aurait dit un épisode de commandement spécial version Yaoundé. Et comme toujours, le discours du Mina a ce ton de fermeté que les Camerounais connaissent bien, des enquêtes ont été ouvertes, dit-il, comme si ça suffisait pour calmer les cœurs. Enquêtes ouvertes où? Par qui? Quand? Mystère et boule de gomme. Mais dans le Cameroun d'aujourd'hui, quand le gouvernement dit enquête, ça veut souvent dire sommeil profond jusqu'à nouvel ordre. Ce qui intrigue surtout, c'est cette aisance avec laquelle Atanga Nji s'érige en procureur de la République avant la justice elle-même. Il parle de « coupable » avant même qu'un juge ne dise mot. Au point où certains observateurs murmurent que la conférence de presse ressemblait plus à un verdict officiel qu'à une simple mise au point. Mais entre nous, chers abonnés, posez-vous la question, comment un homme qui a été porte-parole du gouvernement pendant plus d'une décennie devient soudain le symbole d'une insurrection populaire? Comment le même Chiroma qu'on voyait, micro à la main, défendre les actions du président, peut aujourd'hui être présenté comme un détracteur dangereux? À Cameroun. Le pays où les héros d'hier deviennent les traîtres de demain, selon la direction du vent politique. Le plus drôle, et c'est là que la satire se cache, c'est qu'on dirait que le Mina a oublié qu'il y a quelques années, c'est ce même Issa Chiroma qui l'avait publiquement défendu quand l'opposition l'accusait de partialité. Aujourd'hui, la roue a tourné, et c'est le défenseur d'hier qu'on accuse de vouloir déstabiliser la République. On croirait voir un film où le héros et le méchant échangent leur rôle sans prévenir le public. Alors chers abonnés de Kame News, dites-moi en commentaire, entre Paul Atanga Nji le gardien du régime et Issa Chiroma le repenti devenu rebelle, qui joue vraiment le rôle principal dans ce théâtre politique à la camerounaise. Et surtout, qui dit la vérité? Parce que si au Cameroun chacun devient un danger dès qu'il pense autrement, alors demain, même les griots risquent d'être accusés d'insurrection pour avoir chanté trop fort. Restez bien accrochés, parce que dans la partie 2, on va décortiquer les vraies motivations de ce coup de massue politique, et vous allez comprendre que derrière les mots durs du Mina, se cache une peur bien plus grande, celle d'un système qui voit ses anciens alliés devenir des adversaires inattendus. Partie 2, contexte électoral et mécanique politique, quand la marmite de la présidentielle déborde. À Cameroun. Pays béni des urnes, mais maudit par leurs résultats. La présidentielle du 12 octobre dernier devait être un moment de démocratie, un vrai bal électoral. Mais comme souvent chez nous, la danse a vite tourné en coup de coude général. Avant même que le Conseil constitutionnel ne dise « voici le vainqueur », plusieurs candidats avaient déjà sorti les tam-tams et proclamé leurs propres résultats, chacun depuis sa véranda. Et parmi eux, notre cher Issa Chiroma, ancien ministre devenu candidat rebelle, qui a décidé de s'autoproclamer président du Cameroun version 2.0, depuis Facebook. Mais attention! Ce n'est pas qu'un simple coup de folie politique. Non. Il faut comprendre le contexte, parce qu'ici, rien n'arrive par hasard. Depuis des années, les élections au Cameroun ne sont pas des compétitions, ce sont des opérations de survie politique. Chacun y entre avec son calcul, le pouvoir pour garder la chaise, l'opposition pour exister, et le peuple, eh bien, le peuple pour faire la queue et rentrer chez lui avec le reçu de participation. Cette fois encore, le scénario était bien ficelé. Campagne spectaculaire à la télévision, promesses de milliards pour les jeunes, et slogans copiés sur les affiches de 2018. Mais sur le terrain, c'était autre chose, retard dans la distribution des cartes d'électeurs, bureaux de vote introuvables, urnes mystérieusement remplies avant l'heure, bref, un film à suspense à la camerounaise. Et dans ce film, chaque acteur voulait sa gloire. Sauf que, comme dans nos séries locales, le scénario a fuité trop tôt, tout le monde savait déjà qui allait gagner. Alors, quand les résultats officiels ont été annoncés, c'était la douche froide pour certains candidats. Issa Chiroma, convaincu que la victoire lui avait glissé entre les doigts à cause des manipulations de Yaoundé, a décidé de faire ce que beaucoup n'osent plus faire, défier publiquement le système.